Hello and welcome to another video from oorail. In this video we're going to show you the Nix Mini 2, and this is a digital color meter, and what it allows you to do is it actually allows you to get paint codes as well as digital RGB, sRGB and other color codes by basically scanning specific items. So you basically it's kind of cool. It's got a camera under here and it's enclosed. So what you do is you kind of basically put it down on top of your item you're trying to scan, and then you use the software on the app and it will actually return the code for that particular item. So one of the things that you can use this for in model making, for example, and in railway models, is to get the paint codes off a current model to match, or maybe you happen to have different manufacturers and coaches or rolling stock or locos, and maybe your executive livery doesn't quite match up, whether it's the dark gray black or the light gray. So what you can use this for is basically kind of do trial and error paint matching. So for example, if I think I want to get a similar blue to this to paint an old Lima coach, I can go and get the code off of this, whip up a batch of paint, and then apply it to like a piece of styrene or something like that, and figure out which mixture is the closest to this. This will actually tell me exactly what it is. If I get a new product in from Hornby or from Oxford Rail or from Bachmann, and it looks a bit off to me, and I think, oh, is it my eyesight or is it actually off? The sensor will give me a conclusive answer to that. Alright, so what we're going to do is show you guys how to install this. You'll need a phone or a tablet that's either running Android or iOS. That'll be an Apple iPad or iPhone. And it's relatively easy to install. There are two applications. There's a paint application that'll actually give you paint codes, including oorail codes. And then there's also one that'll give you the digital codes if you're trying to match out photos or mix together paint. I typically use the digital codes because I'm like a software engineer professionally, so I'm used to using the 3-digit or the 3-octet hex codes for colors for RGB, but you can use either way, and you'll see it gives you a wide range of information. So without waffling on too much, let's go and install the software for this, sync this up. Now you can get these off of Amazon. I got this for $99 off Amazon a little while ago, and I thought I'd put this video together and show it to you because it's a really cool tool, and might be of interest to Dave over at Dean Park, for example, with his intercity executive livery problems. Alright, so let's go on and show you how to install the application. I'm on the Apple App Store. If you're using a Google device, you can just use the Google Play Store. The same search will get you the same thing. So search for Nix sensor. You can see here there's Nix sensor limited. If you don't want to get the sensor off of Amazon, you can order it directly. They also have a pro version. So here you can see there's the results. We have Nix digital and we also have Nix paint. I'm going to install both of them. So first of all, I'm going to hit get. It's gone ahead and installed that. So I'm going to hit and install that application as well. And the digital one's already installed, so I'm going to go and hit open, and then I'm going to just rotate the screen around just so you can see what's going on. It's going to ask me for some information. So I'm going to say I'm an other, my age is there, and then I'm going to hit participate. So I'm going to get the sensor here, and it's next to the tablet, and I'm going to hit connect, and I'm going to tell it wants to use Bluetooth. I'm going to so you can see there it's found it, and it says to hold it against a flat surface and hit scan with Nix. So what I'm going to do is I've got this Robert Burns class 87 from Hornby. I'm just going to rest it on that. And you can see there it's on there. I'm going to hit scan with Nix. It's asking me to tap the arrow to reveal more information. And it's just giving me the usual help information, which is kind of annoying. All right, so you can see here what it's done is it's got the color that it's matched up here, and it's got hash 153D4E at 216178. So you can see it down here in the bottom corner. That is what it's returned for that particular loco. I've got a Heljan. I think this is a class 33. And so I'm going to take, again, the sensor here and put it on part there. And so this one was 153D4E, the class 86. And here you can see it's got a different color. It's 022F45. So what I'm going to do next is show you how to do the same thing with the paint code and the different information that you get from that. Alright, so here I've started up Nix Paints. It's kind of basically telling me this is really just to keep my sensor. I'm going to say yes, I have one. It's going to ask me similar information, so I'm going to tell them I'm a, oh, this one has some more information. I'm going to say I'm a other, plug my age in here, and my gender, agree to the end user license agreement, and click done. And so it's asking me, and it's, well, first it's telling me there's an update available, so I'm going to download that. Now once this is downloaded, what we'll be doing is clicking the connect to Nix like you saw on the other one. Obviously I've got Bluetooth now enabled on my tablet, so it should find it. So it's all ready to go. I'm going to hit connect to Nix. I'm going to tell it it's okay to use Bluetooth. Okay, so I was able to get the Paint app to sync. Here you can pick your country. So there's Asia, Canada, Caribbean, EMEA, Mexico, Oceania, South America, or United States. If you're in the UK, you would probably pick Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I'm going to set United States. And then it's giving me a whole bunch of different paint collections that you can select from here. I knew that there's Sherwin-Williams here in town, and I know I can get Valspar from Lowe's. But basically you can select whatever paint collections you want. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back and then see if it's let me select change the region. No, I'm going to have to go into settings probably. Yeah, set region. I'm going to set it to EMEA, and then it's going to give me paint collections that are probably more appropriate for the UK. So you can pick whatever ones you want here. I'm going to go with I know that Crown and Benjamin Moore is one that they have here in the US. So I think that'll work. So we'll select those. And so you can see here it's actually giving me a whole bunch of different paints that are actually close. So for Crown paints, it's saying Blueberry 1485 is a good match. So if I was actually looking to use off-the-shelf paints, I could potentially do that. And there's also an oorail classified color code, which is the 5020 1342, and this is what you can use to then go and get custom paints made from custom model shops. So what I'm going to do is go back and set the region to the United States, and then I'm going to go and select a paint collection. So I'm going to just set it to Sherwin-Williams here because I know they have a store in town, and select OK. And you can see here it's giving me a couple of different options. This is a good match, and then it's got similar colors. There's no actual excellent match, and I'm kind of hoping it has a color code here. It may not have a standard color code for that. So what I'm ultimately gonna probably end up doing is just using the digital one, just so that I can do that. So I'm gonna have to connect the Nix again. It may not like being next to the track. Okay, so once it's connected, you'll get this sensor here. If you have any problems like I was having, turning on and off Bluetooth does seem to help when you switch between apps. If you're only using the one app, this will work just fine when you bring it up. And so when you load the application up and you have the sensor ready to go, you'll have this thing where it's telling you to press against the surface. As you can see there, the idea behind this is that there's just no light coming in, so you always get the correct code. One thing you want to do when you're working with the model is to make sure that the surface is clean. So what I'm using is I'm actually using a microfiber cloth to clean off parts of the loco to make sure that it's correct. So what we're going to do next is just take a quick look at the APT. I'm going to be using the digital scan code just because it's easier. And so what I'm doing is you take the sensor like this. I'm going to use the roof this time and hit scan with Nix. It comes back here. You can see the code is C2BA9A or 194.186.158. Or sorry, 154. And just out of interest, I'm going to take the original APT here and do the same thing. So for scanning the roof, I can put my thumb over it like this and make sure that it is flush and no light is getting in. You might have to apply a little bit of pressure and then hit scan with Nix. You can see here it's come up with 949A93. That's 148, 154, 147 is the other code. So this top code is the RGB, and then the bottom one I think is the kind of digital, or no, I think it's the actually it'll tell me what it is if I hit it up, right? So here you can see it's got the hex, the sRGB, CYMK, CIE lab, LCH, LRV, and the hue right there. And if I want to do it on the underneath, for example, I can also do that and hit scan with Nix. And you can see there I'm getting similar codes back. You might see there's a little bit of light gap getting in, so you might want to find part of the model where it is actually flush with it in order to use it correctly. Okay, so what I've done is I've moved the camera up just a little bit so you can see the different codes that come in here. So you got color details, it's got the hex, sRGB, CMYK, CIE lab, LCH, LRV, and the hue. And you can see there that you can use this information then to match photos, to match paints, and just you can take this information to a lab or a custom paint shop, and they'll be able to get the paints for you and mix them up and so on. Likewise, if you don't want to go with the professional route, what you can do is you can just mix the paint up yourself and then apply it to a piece of styrene or a piece of plastic, and then use the Nix to kind of color match. If it's not quite right, you can just keep experimenting like that until you get a good match. Obviously this is quite helpful if you've got some color faded stock you're trying to kind of repaint, or you want to try to match different vendors who aren't quite right. And just to show you here, we've got a InterCity swallow. This is one of the ones that you can see here. It says made in Britain. I don't know if you can make that out. It's built in Britain. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to take it and we're going to use this executive livery gray here. So just want to apply it. We want to make sure it is actually pointing at the right place. This can be a little tricky if the model is got a kind of unique surface, but you can see there it's pretty flush. So I'm going to hit scan with Nix. Takes a few seconds. You can see here it's come back with AE9D89 and 174, 157, 137. And this is the paint code that you would use on the computer, for example, and then you got the sRGB there. So what I'm going to do next is do the same test on a series of different coaches that are all in executive livery, and see exactly how different they really are. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, what I'm going to do is I am going to go and put the coach and piece of rolling stock or loco flat against the table. or layout here on this bit of a kitchen towel, and I'm going to use the Nix sensor here, and then you can see the actual outcome live on the app. What I'll do is when I've done all of them, I'll put up a table here in the video and you'll see a comparison between the different locos. So we're going to start off with are the InterCity executive livery and coaches. So I'm going to remove this one here, and this one is the Mach 4 from Hornby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that down like so. I'm just going to get another piece of kitchen towel here and just rub off the sample area just so that there's no like fingerprints or grease on it. It should be pretty good. And so I'm going to take the Nix sensor. We're going to put it in the area, make sure it's as flat as possible. Hopefully it is on the executive livery part. And you can see there the results I got were AE 9788. That's 174, 151, 136. So that is the Hornby Mach 4. And I'm going to set this aside. Now, the next one I've got here is a Hornby Mach 2F. You can see there it's got the Hornby logo on the underneath. This is a first class one. I'm going to take a different part of the kitchen towel. I'm just going to clean that off like so. I'm going to take the sensor, put it over the edge there where it's completely flat, hit scan with Nix. You can see there I got D9 C594, and we're going to go and remove the sensor, set the coach aside, and the next one up is the Oxford Rail. This one's a much grayer, paler color. Got another part of the kitchen towel and rub my finger on the sampling area like so. And then I'm going to take the sensor, put it down over the sampling area, and hit scan with Nix. And here you got B3, B8, B2. So it's a much grayer color, as you can see there, and that's obviously to be expected. Now, I also happen to have a brand new Hornby. This is OR40002A. It's a Mach 3 first class coach and InterCity Swallow. And so I'm going to actually take this one out of the box. You can see it's like a brand new look, it's pretty stiff. I've had these laying around because I actually had the Class 43 that has that notorious reputation for being green. And so I'm going to remove this thing from its block of ice. This is a completely pristine factory version. In fact, I'm going to try not to touch the model at all. And as you can see there, I'm still touching it through the plastic, and it's gone straight out of the box onto the kitchen towel here. Now I'm not going to actually clean it off. I'm going to go and take the sensor and put it straight on this fresh model and hit scan with Nix. And you can see there I got D5 C390. I'm also going to scan, if I can, scan. Now one of the problems you're going to find is that the camera is so big, or it's not huge, but it's a certain couple of millimeters wide. So if you're trying to get, like, for example, I want to get the yellow, but what's going to happen here, it's catching other parts of it. So I might have to, it's because it's picking up a mix of the colors. So to get something like this band, I'm probably going to have to 3D print something so that it can get that particular part of the coach. But for getting things like the main part of the paint here, it is going to do a pretty good job. Now you can see there I didn't quite have it flush, and so it has picked up some of the light. So you're just going to have to be very careful about the surface that you scan it against to get the proper result. So you can see there, if you just don't quite have it I've got a little bit amount of pressure on this just so it's close enough any light, and you can see there D7 C291 as a result. Alright, so next up what we're going to do is test this HST. It is OR3944 3065. So I'm going to put that down like so. Alright, so what I'm going to do is take the Nix here and scan the power car. I'm just going to do that again just in case I didn't quite get that right. It is resting up against, yeah, it's still, you can still see the light there. I'm going to try a different location. Yeah, that time worked better. So it's D5 C189. If I pop that up, you see here it says the hue is yellow. Just out of curiosity, I'm also going to see the gray part, which is got the kind of green color attached to it as well. You can see their hue is green, and there's the different color. It's definitely not black, that's for sure. Okay, so for the executive livery, I've already done the lighter gray color, so now we're going to do the darker gray, and this is starting off with the notoriously green one, and we'll do scan with Nix. You can see there it's coming back with 2E33 2A, so that's been pretty consistent. The next one up is the Oxford Mach 3A, and I'm using the buffet one here because it's got a nice gap here for the dark gray. So let's see what that comes back with. Comes back with 2628 2B. You can see here the hue is definitely gray, so it's not that awful green color that Hornby have been using. Then this one here is an old Hornby Mach 4. Again, I've used a buffet, I think it is, so that I can get access to the gray a little bit better. This one is coming back as a blue hue, actually. Let's try again. Yep, so this one's coming back as an old Mach 4, and it's a 2C29 2E, and it's coming back as a kind of a more of a blue hue. This is a newer Mach 3. It's from the same generation there as the HST, and this might be a little tricky, but I will attempt to get it on there. Might have to okay, so here we have the Mach 2F, and it's got a little bit of a bigger space here, so I'm hoping I can get a good scan with this. So this one's coming back as 36 42 36, and again it has a kind of a green tinge to it, just like you'd expect because it looks a little green. It's the same kind of green that they have on the HST, and it's coming back as 36 42 36. You can see there the sRGB and the green is quite high compared to the other two, and so yeah, pretty much what you would have expected. The last one I have actually is from the Mach 4, and I'm just going to scan it as well. It's the DVT, and we can scan that one, and it's coming back, it's violet almost, which kind of makes sense. It's a 2C24 2C. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go and list those colors, starting with the lighter gray that's on the bottom of the coaches here, and then also do the darker gray or green if you're Hornby that's coming back there, so you can see a comparison of the two. So for the BR Blue, we're going to test a couple of coaches. We have a Lima, no sorry, this is a Oxford Rail Mach 3A coach. We have a Hornby Mach 3 coach, and then we also on this end here have a Lima Mach 3 coach as well. So the first coach we have here is an Oxford Rail Mach 3A. So I'm going to clean off the surface area, and for this I'm actually going to try to test both the gray as well as the blue, since this is blue and gray. So this is the blue, and I didn't quite do that right, so I'm going to do it again. And that one is 36, 52, 64. And I will attempt to get the gray. I don't know if this is going to work. Actually, I should probably flip it over. Actually, no. I can probably get it in there. It's pretty tight, but we'll see what happens. And it's not going to work there. So if we can get it here. Yep, there you go. So this one is AAA 188 is what's coming back for the gray. So that was the Oxford Rail, both the blue and the gray. Next up is a Hornby. This is like a Hornby InterCity 125 Mach 3 coach. So we will do a quick scan of the blue. And it's come back almost purple. Let me try that again. Yep, there you go. It's hue is blue. It's a 2C 3346. And then on the gray, it's coming back as B3, B7, A7. Which makes sense. It's just a little bit lighter than the other one. And then last but not least, we have this old Lima coach. I actually cleaned this pretty extensively to try to make this as accurate as possible. This is the cleanest Lima coach I could find. So I'm going to go ahead and scan that. And the BR Blue is 134451, and the gray is it's 8E9082. All right, so you can see there we've got a variety of tests, and what I'm going to do now is up on the screen I will put just a comparison chart. It'll just be a quick graphic that will show the different colors and so on from the different things. So it'll have the name of the manufacturer, the rolling stock type, and the hex code as well as the color, so you can see the comparison. I'll use the color to actually color the lines across so you can see the different hues of blue. So first up we've got this Bachmann power car. I'm going to clean the sampling area because this is an older loco. It's been sitting there for a while. And we're going to take the tool, apply pressure to it, hit scan. You can see there hue is blue. It's coming back as 00314D. And that is a Bachmann product. We have another Bachmann product. This one is by Kernow, and it's the active diesel locomotive. It's a D600. Just do it above the nameplate here. So I've got that with a fair amount of pressure applied to it. We hit scan, and we're getting 003943. And again, the hue is blue, so it's at least a blue color. Next up, we have this Heljan class 33. Again, I'm going to clean the scanning area like so. And then we will do, we will do a quick scan of that. And it comes back with, it's coming back with a 00273F for the Heljan. Next up we have the Robert Burns, which is a Hornby product. It's an electric loco. I'm gonna clean this off like so. And then run the scan on it. And it comes back as 143DFD. Now, I also happen to have a very old Hornby locomotive. This one's a bit scuffed, so I'm assuming the color might not quite be as accurate with this because it's color faded and not entirely clean. This is about as clean as I'm going to get it. So we'll scan it. And it comes back as 1A4856. Alright, so there you have it. The Nix Mini 2. It's a very cool piece of hardware. It's very easy to use with the software there on the app. And it's a great modeling tool. You can use it to kind of paint match existing rolling stock. You can use it to check to see if you've mixed paint right, if you're going to respray or touch up any kind of paint on rolling stock that you might have, or if you want to attempt to maybe get a better match with different vendor or different manufacturers paints and stuff like that. It's also something you could take with you, I guess, to a model shop before you buy a model and check to make sure that it's going to match your existing stock and it's not drastically off. What you saw there, the hue across different paints. For the executive livery, we have everything from gray, which was on the Oxford rail, all the way over to green on the Hornby stuff and violet on the older Hornby stuff. So it's a pretty wild kind of paint mix there. Just out of curiosity, what I didn't do in that video was check the gray on the APT coach, and I'm going to do that real quick for you guys now, since Hornby seem to have gotten the kind of right on the APT coach. So here we go. Going to put that on the coach right there, do scan with Nix, and it's coming back with gray. It's 3F, 3D, 3B, and that's a much better hue and kind of look at executive grade, more what we're expecting to see. Alright, so that's it for today's video. Hope you guys found it useful. If you're interested in getting one of these Nix Mini 2s, there is a link to pick one up from Amazon. If you want to get it from Amazon, you can buy it direct as well. I'll put the link directly to the company if you want to order it direct from them as well. So that's it. Hope you guys found it useful. If there's something you want me to scan for you, but you don't really want to buy one of these, put it in the comments and I'll see if I can get time to do it for you. It might take a couple of days. I'm quite busy, but I'll try to get to it. Alright, so I hope you guys found this video useful, and until next time.